Good afternoon and welcome to another exciting episode of Talking Sports. I am Marvelous M.R. Richards, your host, and I've got a very, very interesting guest with me here in the studio, none other than Leon Kuma Rodney. But before we start to get to our special guest, I would like to let you know that this particular program, Talking Sports, and also the Talking Parish League, is made possible by ACB Caribbean. And they have been in banking for over 63 years. And also they have been sponsoring Antigua Parish League cricket for over 43 years. That's a long relationship they have there. So anytime at all that you have any financial and banking needs, be sure to check ACB Caribbean. They are situated on the corner of Thames and St. Mary Street, and there's also a branch here on High Street. And well, it's just simply Smarter Banking, ACB. And also Cecil Charles Group of Companies through its pharmacy, SECO, which is situated right here on High Street also. For all your pharmaceutical needs and medical needs, you can check them out. Also Blue Mountain Water, also known as the Great Tasting Water and the Purest. You can get Blue Mountain Water from mega distributors, and they are situated on the American Road. Also Hutchison, of course, another company of Cecil Charles, and they are the agents for Pine Hill juices. So whatever your fruity flavor preference, is easy to sip and smile with Pine Hill juices, and they are situated on the Factory Road, along with plumbing and electrical for all your great plumbing and for good deals. Everything plumbing and electrical, all at one stop, and they are situated on the Potter's Main Road. And also brands for less. You pay less for quality branded products, and they cater for men, women, and children, and they are situated right here also on High Street. Well, I was telling you about my special guest here this afternoon, Leon Kuma Rodney, and he's the president of the Antigua Cricket Association, my good friend, and perhaps he will hit me a little later for this, but I understand that he's also a part-time golfer. Well, I want to welcome you, Kuma, to Talking Sports.
Thank you very much. As you introduce yourself as Mervyn Marvelous, Marvelous.
No, Marvelous.
Mervyn Marvelous. So I can probably introduce myself as Kuma Coombs Rodney. Which one sounds more sexy, Coombs or Marvelous?
I think the Marvelous just.
Okay, let the girls decide. Thank you much for having me, Mervyn. It's always a pleasure whenever we get the opportunity to talk sports, and obviously I'll have to add culture to it because I'm a sports and culture person, so it's always a pleasure to be.
Well, Kuma, when we have someone like you here who is just multi-talented and have been in many different fields, feel free, it's your show, right? I'm just your host, and you talk as long as you like, and as long as you like. All right? But first, we're going to start off with cricket. And tell me what's happening with cricket at the moment.
Well, at the present moment, I will tell you that we have the South African, West Indies women and the South African women here in Antigua. The series will be played starting tomorrow. The series will be a 8-match series, three T20 matches, and tomorrow those T20 matches will start at the Sir Vivian Cricket Stadium. So tomorrow is Tuesday, then next one will be played on Thursday, and the last one in the T20 series will be played on Saturday. Unfortunately, spectators will not be allowed in the grounds. And then after the T20 series, we will have the West Indies women playing against the South Africa women's in an ODI series, and ODI is basically is one-day internationals. We'll have 5 of those matches played. 3 of those matches will be played at the Coolidge Cricket Grounds, and 2 of those matches at the great Sir Vivian Isaac Alexander Richards Cricket Grounds, my buddy. Alexander the Great. Hey, that's right, Alexander the Great. This is your buddy, you should know. So that's what is happening at the present moment as it pertains to local cricket at the present moment. As old people will say, nada.
Nada?
Nada. Mean
Honest
not. Well, you should know that. You should know that better than I. Nothing is really happening. Unfortunately, we have called off all our tournaments for the balance of the year or the rest of the year, whatever word you choose. You choose is to use, and that is simply because this COVID-19 has really took a toll on all of us in whichever way, format, in every aspect. We had scheduled our under 17s cricket tournament, which would have been played maybe just about now, but unfortunately, given all the ups and downs and the runarounds and things like that, and the final decision from the government to suggest if you want to play the tournament, then all the officials would have to be vaccinated, which we really don't have a problem. And let me take the opportunity on your show to say that the Antigua and Barbuda Cricket Association, we are fully behind vaccination. We want to encourage people to be vaccinated. We don't think that you should command or demand anyone to be vaccinated, but I think if we all allow common sense to prevail, we will see that for those of us who wants to move around and like to move around, that it will be more than reasonable for you to take the vaccines, because at the end of the day, you're not going to get too far unless you have those credentials.
That's right.
Nevertheless, so we have called off our under 17 tournament. One of our marquee tournament that we reintroduced last year, and I'm sure we'll delve into that quite a little bit later, which is a tournament we call the ABCA 10 Splash. We also had some outside interest with that. Hopefully that it would have been in December. We had some outside interests where we probably had 2 persons or 2 companies out of India who wanted to take the visual down that side. We would have not made too much monies from it, but at the end of the day, I think it would have probably offset the costs of the tournament. However, we felt, given the model by the government at the moment, where national tournaments are not allowed to be played unless all involved are vaccinated. We felt, given our survey with the clubs, the important thing is to look forward to a productive 2022. It's a tough call, but at the end of the day, good leaders have to also always make some very tough calls.
Oh yes. That's part of the responsibility, to make the tough decisions.
Well, you know, Mervyn. If you ever make a decision and everybody agree, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, I suppose it's the same argument you can say with the vaccine. I mean,
well,
we respect those who.
You shouldn't have to respect them,
but,
you know.
For those who have taken the vaccine, and if you trust the scientists who are saying that the vaccine will help in some way with this terrible thing that's going around right now. It's just for those who believe in it, who have taken it. I try to convince those who haven't, just to tell them, it's the best thing for them to do. Because of course, if we didn't have this number, or I suppose the last protocol initiative that came from the government for the 2 weeks, that we from 11 to 8 p.m. I mean, had the numbers not going up, I suppose you would have had spectators at these games, would it?
I would want to believe so, but To be honest with you, I really don't want to dig too deep in this vaccine thing because I have my own opinion, and I must tell you, I'm one of those very strong-headed persons. Sometimes I can be ignorant and stupid about it. And really, when I see the government shutting down the country back at 8 o'clock and so forth, it suggests to me that, like, time like this, COVID not troubling anybody. What's the time now? About 5 o'clock. After 5, COVID not doing anything until after 8. I think it's, personally, my choice of words, I will not take it back. I think it's rather ridiculous. Let us just for argument's sake, recognize that when the country was locked down, we really didn't have no escalation in the numbers. So I think somebody need to sit back and recognize that with 5 and 7 international flights coming into this country every day, obviously the numbers are going to go in the ascendancy. What I think we need to understand that we are going to have to live with COVID just like the regular flu for the next how long. I can't tell you how long. I'm not a scientist, but I believe that I'm a reasonable, sensible person. I can't tell you that I'm a bright person, but I think that I'm intelligent and enough to know. God has blessed me that I went to Teacher Martin School. As a matter of fact, I went to TUR school in this very building, and I went to Princess Margaret School. So I believe that I have reasonable, I may not be a doctor, a lawyer, and so forth, but you know, Mervyn, that education doesn't make you the brightest person in the world. You know, we have a lot of educated fools. So let us understand that. But again, we all have to respect and understand that the government are in charge, and they make the decisions because they have the right so to do, whether you like it or you don't like it.
So tell me something. Would you know, they have also banned camps, summer camps.
They have banned all.
They have go back school a week or two.
Yeah.
Does that affect you? You guys, at least, is training a part of that?
Yeah, basically, at the moment, as we say, we are not doing anything whatsoever at the present moment. We have some plans that we have to look at pretty soon. Let's hope that this thing goes well. When I say goes away, because I told you before, I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. But we're going to have to find some opportunities to do some training on the 15, 17, and even the senior team. I know there is a North American tournament should be coming to Antigua in a while, and I know some of the teams taking part wants to come here early, and they're looking for some practices and so forth. So we will have to put some people in training. How much that may be able to work based on what's happening at the moment, your guess is as good as mine, you know. But it's a tough situation, and I think we all, I've said this on another program a couple of weeks ago, and you know, it's amazing that for some time now, I'm sure that it happens to you, that things may be said from a local standpoint, and nobody really gives two hoots about what you're saying because it's local. But if the same thing is said internationally, it has some level of authority. And I said to the person that let us just not base and surround our conversation of our tournaments put off and so forth. Let us take into consideration the many persons who have are suffering from a mental breakdown, financial disaster. You know, there's so many things happening to people on a daily basis, my brother, because of this COVID-19 situation. And some persons in authority, yes, they have a lot of money, so they're quite happy. They don't help anyone and so forth, so it's okay for them to go about their daily lives. But just for example, I'm not a rich person. I'm just trying to survive daily. But let us understand, I'm sure that you experience that too. Given your name in the society on a daily basis, people are going to ask you for some kind of assistance.
That's right.
You're going to bend over backwards at times. If you have a $5, you may tell them hold on to $2.50. You have a 20, say listen, 10. But it's just the reality. I think we need to pay some serious attention from a mental standpoint. It's just a serious thing. we may not have been affected in Antigua like some of the other country where people are jumping off a high-rise building, people killing themselves, somebody shooting the girlfriend, boyfriend shooting girlfriend, shooting boyfriend, because of the whole situation that create that level of pressure. And the reality is, I'm a very strong individual. I'm sure that you are, but everybody cannot take the level of pressure in the same way, and given the circumstances. But from a sporting standpoint, I just want to encourage all the clubs and the players to continue to, just suck it up, continue to train from a physical standpoint, personal standpoint, because I can remember vividly, the days when we may have been physically ready, we may not be match ready. The good thing about when I was growing up, and I'm not young, but it was basically two sports, cricket and football. You would have moved out of the football season.
That's right.
Going into the cricket season, moving out of the football season, going into the cricket season, you were physically fit.
Right.
You may not be cricket ready, because then if the arms come into play, where football is mostly the lower body. Right. You're kicking the ball, heading the ball. How many times you're really going to head a ball? But you're going to kick the ball majority of the time. So the lower body, the body structure would be fit, but you may not be match ready for cricket, especially if you're a bowler.
Well, maybe at this particular time too. I mean, I remember when we were playing for St. John's Cricket Club, Pacer Williams, and I would visit Pacer. Pacer had a string with a ball in it.
Exactly.
And he would be hitting the ball.
I'm sure all of us had that at that time.
Yeah. But I'm sure that T really has not been given any sort of for that creation. I mean, he had that back in the 70s,
Yeah,
and I think now some places have that sort of
exactly
setup,
It helps.
Yeah. But what's happening now too with the under 19? The under 19 team, West Indies under 19.
Right. I think they left yesterday or day before yesterday to England. Let's congratulate the Leewards for having 4 players in that setup. I know that a number of us have got some bashing that Antigua don't have any player in the team. I know the player that was looking very well from Antigua, Mr. Pittman. I'm not sure. Okay, let's say that he did not make the team.
Yeah.
He didn't make the team to England, but he still have a great opportunity of playing in the under-19 World Cup, which majority of the matches, or the best part of the matches, should take place here in Antigua and Barbuda. Right? Well, obviously after the ICC inspection and things like that, let's hope that everything goes through well, that Antigua will have the better part of the tournament. We have to try and be very realistic. Sometimes they have something they call luck. I really don't believe in it.
No, there is luck, but
I don't believe in it. I believe that once you're prepared for any adversities, that the chips will fall better in your corner. Maybe we just need to give some respect that, okay, Nevis had 3 players in the team, and I think the other one is from St. Martin.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we should look at it from a standpoint that they are Leeward Islands player. And from where I sit, it's okay that I'm the president of Antigua, and I would have been more than happy if the whole of the under 19 West Indies team going to England is all Antiguans.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
if they merit the pick.
If they merit the pick. And that is the language. I'm glad that you put it that way. Because I think a lot of us just not remembering this. At one point in time, the Leeward Islands cricket team, senior team, was made up of nearly all Antiguans.
That's when we wanted to go on our own, isn't it?
You had so much good players, but listen, there are times that the cycle of life have some reversal effect, and sometimes, let us just be real. When you look at Enoch Lewis, who did not play for West Indies, nobody in this world would believe that Enoch could not have made a West Indies side in front of Faroon Bacchus. Nobody will believe that Rahul Sonato could not have played for West Indies.
Even though he had the most runs at one particular
Exactly. So I'm saying it's just some what I would probably call reverse unlucky situations, and it do happens. I mean, at one point in time you would have been probably the most skillful midfielder in Antigua. Well, let's say most skillful footballer in Antigua and Barbuda. I have to give it to you. I think between yourself and my good friend Dadai from Pawam, I was about the two most skillful. I didn't get to see a lot of English.
English, yeah. I learned a lot from English.
But from what I would have seen from you two guys, I think that you guys were reasonably skillful. For some guys that did not really get the advertisement like you guys, I think Lickers said.
Oh no, Lickers
and
said,
a good friend of mine, who lived in the States for a while, he just came back now, called Anderson Newman Winter. I think he also had some reasonable skills, but at the end of the day, the reality everybody can't go through, because I believe, Mervyn, if everybody could have gone through, I should have played some cricket, some cricket for Antiguas. No, seriously, as an all-rounder, but, again, some of us came the wrong time, and you have to accept that, So at the end of the day, I think that I'm just looking forward for a prosperous 2022 and hope that we can put things into place, preparing for that.
Well, I heard on the media, on radio stations about the selection of all these guys from down the islands, right? But I wanna play a little devil's advocate here to say, well, look, some of those players I think came through from the under 15 too. To the under 7, well, we don't have an under 17, which I think is needed. An under 17, but why they're promoted now to the under 19? So, I mean, they had a pathway for some of those players, but our players, those same players who people are arguing for to be on the team, did they come through the system?
Okay, I think what happened, right? And I think it's a bullet that all of us have to just take it and take it in. The unfortunate situation is that given the COVID situation, there has not been any on-the-age tournament that has been played since 2019.
Okay.
2019. So if we look back seriously and recognize 2019, when you would have played the under-19 tournament, none of those guys who played in the under-19 tournament in 2019, given the situation where no tournament in 2020, no tournament in 2021, and you have to call it 2 years because now it's already August in 2020, in 2021.
Yeah.
So none of those players who would have played in the under-19, the CWI under-19 tournament in 2019 basically qualified for the team, maybe just one or two to qualify for selection for this team. So it created a serious and awkward situation that we may not like it and we may not satisfy that is the right thing to do, but at the end of the day, given the circumstances, you had to do something to come up with a team.
Right.
So what basically happened, when they look at the pathway of players from who would have done well in the under 17s and the better ones in the under 15 tournament, then really and truly, where are you going to turn to select the players to represent West Indies in the under 19 tournament?
Right.
Unfortunately, given the circumstances, when they look at the pathway documentation of the players who did well in the under 17s and the under 15s in 2019, given the circumstances that the players who played in the under 19 tournament
and did well,
cannot represent West Indies anymore, because they played in the under 19s. If they were even 17, most of them are 19 now, and they're and over age. So you have to look at the pathway set up and say, okay, well, these are about our best players. Fortunately, unfortunately, they brought 50-something players together. Yes, maybe Antigua could have had one or two more players, or even Leewards could have had one or two more players. But if we're really realistic and honest within ourselves, when we look at the players who even went to the under-17 tournaments and the under-15 tournaments, we must be honest enough that these players representing Antigua with Leewards really did not do exceptionally well, for anybody to be shouting hoorah. And yes, I'm sitting and I'll repeat it. And somebody may want to say that I'm chatting ignorance, but what I will want to do is to invite them. No, I will want to invite them to check the stats of those players, right? That would have represented us. And I've mentioned it on another program. I'm not going to be shy to mention it. Majority of the Leeward Islands youth teams are made up of Antiguans over the past couple of years. And if you look carefully, you will see when we get to West Indies tournaments, the players who should stand up and put their hands up to make Leeward Islands, the Leeward Islands teams what it's supposed to be, have not put up their hand, and that's just the reality. You can go way back to even 5 years, you know, the Kofi James, you know, and all these guys. When you really check when they went to the West Indies youth tournament, they really did not put up their hand and do the best.
Present, please.
I say present, please, for Leewards, and they were the leading players for Leewards. So let us understand that we may not have the numbers in the team, but again, we are part of the territory, and the territory is Leewards. Now, what worked better for the other territories, that they're one landmass, right? So they had a lot of opportunity to train together, play together, and some of the players came up with better performances at those levels, the under 17s and the under 15 levels. So when you look at it, you would have really see that the pathway chart may show that these guys would have performed better in 2019. Now, let's say that the guys were given an opportunity to play on the 19s and on the 17 cricket during 2020 and 2021. Who knows? Maybe some of those names that got selected from what some people call the so-called bigger territories would not have been selected. So it's a catch-21 situation. It's a tough bullet to bite, but at the end of the day, West Indies had to have a team, and they found a way to deal with it. It may not be the best way. You may not like it. I may not like it. But at the end of the day, the reality is just what it is.
And we have to support them, yeah. But tell me something. So on the 19 team was supposed to be coached by this guy, Reefer.
Yeah, Flight Reefer.
Who I understand that he has a contract with CPL and also the coach for the Jamaica team. What's your take on that situation?
Obviously, you know, I'm going to be very, very upfront with you. I am not going to be able to debate it, have that conversation, because at the end of the day, I am a director at CWI.
Okay.
Right? What I may say, the only thing that I may say, I think it would be good for people to investigate whether he had the contract for CPL before the tour was organized in England.
Exactly.
And that's about, I think, that the most reasonable thing for me to say.
And I suppose if it boils down to someone else, you know, who might consider both and decide, well, look, you know, write an apology to CPL. I mean, that's if the
but you see,
the remuneration is.
Yeah, but you see, but apart from the remuneration, we may sit here and say that it's easy to write an apology and say, hey, well, you know, I did took a contract to be the coach of XYZ team. Fortunately, unfortunately, I'm the coach of the West Indies under-19 team,
but they're both Caribbean setup.
That is also true, but I mean, you have to understand that the CPL is very serious business, which is a money-making thing.
And I mean, in bold letters.
Exactly, bold letters. And once you would have signed those dotted lines, who knows? There may be some repercussions, and so as I say, I really do not want to dive too serious in it, because to be honest with you, I'm one of those persons that believe in collective responsibility. I've always believed in it. I may have my own opinion. Well, not me. I have my own opinion.
Right.
But at the end of the day, as strong-headed as I am, you have to know when to get on that horse and ride it very fast. And you always also have to know when you're going to ride at the donkey and don't put it in a horse race. So with that said, I would not have too much of a conversation.
But we're glad that Kirtley is also on board.
Not only the Curtly should on board, but let us look back on the history of Curtly, and I'm sure that I'm, to say that whether I'm a director or not director, because if you look at it, Curtly is a winning coach.
That's right.
And you know how it goes, Mervyn. When you're coach and you have good W.
That's right.
When you have W behind your name,
that's right.
I mean, because coaches really don't win anything, they're players. But at the end of the day, when the coaches have L, it's a lose, leave. lose, leave. So if you think about it, Curtly has been a winning coach. Unfortunately, there was some ridiculousness a couple of years ago where they say he wasn't certified, because I think
no. And I'm glad you mentioned the word certified, because there is a difference, I would think, between certified and qualified.
I was just about to finish up my statement by saying that people need to simply understand that there's a serious difference between certification and qualification. You can't sit here and tell me that Mervyn is not qualified to coach football. He may not be certified, but you can't tell me, given your knowledge and experience and your skill and the talent that you possess, that you're not qualified. But we also have to come to some realization that in this modern day and age, if you're not showing up some papers,
that's right.
I mean, as I said to you earlier, you have a lot of educated dons walking around the place, But you can't blame them for that, because what? They were very, very good at learning everything that they see in the book and memorize it, but nobody reminded them that they have something they call practical. So when they finish learning all what they learn in the book, just for instance, when you look at people who does a lot of finance and so forth, they know everything in the book, but nobody ever told them that Mervyn is going to come and rob them tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? So there's people, people must take into consideration that
no, but Kuma, it all boils down to performance. That's how I look at it.
Exactly.
Whether you're qualified or you're certified, it boils down to performance. Delivery. And once you can deliver, I don't care about no papers and anything like that,
Well, that's what people need to understand. I mean, Slige, you tell me one time, listen, you have a blow a trumpet even one time.
Well, I have my B license. I have my B license.
My coaching standpoint, Mervyn, I'm going to blow my trumpet here. I mean, I think that I'm reasonable coach across.
In these COVID times and all, you don't put no motor on your trumpet, right?
So you have a blow. I think that I've had a reasonable success from coaching Empire to Antigua to Leewards. I'm just now looking to get certified in that level 3. I'm a certified level 1, level 2 coach.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but if you don't step up to the plate now and at least get to that level 3, boy, the dollar's not coming your way. And as you know, I believe I said it already, I'm not overly fascinated and excited about being president. I believe that my God-given talent is to be able to assist people, I believe the coaching part of it. So I hope that.
But you're on your second term now, aren't you?
No, I think it would be second. So the third term should comes up from about
and you're unopposed. You're unopposed. So
I was unopposed.
So obviously you're doing.
Well, that's what they're saying. I think that as old people say, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. You can't smell it enough. It may smell good, but it tastes good. And as crackers we say. And how we look, how we taste.
Exactly.
So we should have our elections in November. I don't know what will happen. I know that been seriously looking
but
about
whichever way it goes, you'll find yourself doing something for cricket.
I have to. Listen, I have no
choice.
I have no choice but to do it. I mean, it's part of the DNA. Oh no, I really want to use the word the DNA, because there's some jokey party then called the DNA. They're no good party. So but change one DNA.
You're naughty, and I'm the referee here, so I'm gonna.
Well, I hear it's supposed to be NO, no NOG, no good. But again, that's just my opinion. Don't take it personal, guys. You know how I feel about you guys, a bunch of jokers. You know? It's just what it is, you know. Yeah, Marvin, I can't help you know. Where you see where you get to know?
Yeah, you bat without helmet when you say this kind of thing.
But me come up the days when they bat in a helmet. You know. But all in all, listen, man, we just got to continue to do the work for the game. We're not perfect. We can't get everything right because Fitzroy-Brand tell me in time, if you get everything right, you need to go to hell. I know, you know he talk, right?
That's it.
If you get everything right, you need to go to hell. You know what I mean? You know, so it is what it is. But there's a lot of cricket to be played, and let's hope that, well, unfortunately, they can't come out and see the women's because it's just what it is. And as they say, the COVID numbers are rising up, and that's the reality.
But you know, when we get back, I'm just gonna let our viewers know of our partners, right? But when we come back, we're gonna talk about West Indies cricket.
Anything.
And anything at all that you wanna talk about. All right, we just want to remind our viewers that Talking Sports is being brought to you by the kind compliments of ACB Caribbean, Simply Smarter Banking, Blue Mountain Water from Mega Distributors, and also Cecil Charles Group of Companies through its pharmacy, Seco and Hutchison Limited, along with plumbing and electrical, and also brands for less. And remember, we are on Facebook Live and the YouTube, so we are asking you to like and to share. All right, please like and share, and just let your friends know that Talking Sport and also Antigua, Talking Parish League, right here on a Thursday, they can always tune in and be a part of what's happening right here. Now, what is going on with West Indies cricket? Because they recently toured there from Pakistan here, right? We were hot, and then we went cold, and I thought they were in a situation where, you know, if they had stuck in, you know, I mean, getting those runs in a whole day should have been easy. But is there some mental problem? And
well, to be honest with you,
you can also tell me what you think of the situation, leaving out like Puran and Meyer and Lewis. What's
okay? You're coming up my street. I mean, obviously, you know, I'm not going to touch on selection because the selectors are my selectors. But we can look at situations.
Right.
First things first, I'll tell you this. Myself and Sir Andy may not see eye to eye on a lot of things because sometimes, you know, Andy a man of his own meditation, and you don't have to agree with him. But one thing I tell you, I will agree with.
Respect whatever he says.
One thing I will agree with Sir Andy with from now till I die. Players must take responsibility for their own development, Marvin.
That's true.
Must take responsibility for their own development. More so in this modern times, when people telling me about motivation and motivation. What kind of what more motivation you can want about the kind of monies that is circulated in cricket? You play well for West Indies, you're going to get a contract in maybe the Big Bash, the IPL, the CPL, the BPL. Listen, they have all kind of league right now, even in the US league, you know. So there's so many things going on that I think that the personal development, as it pertains to some of the names that you call. I said something a few years ago where some people felt that I was crazy, and to be honest with you, I believe only myself and John Archibald I heard was beating that drum. I felt at the time that Kaiwan Pollard should have been playing Test match cricket for Antigua, for West Indies, and my position that Kaiwan Pollard would have been my number 3 batsman. What I felt at the time, our upfront batters, nobody really feared them. Nobody really feared them.
I mean, they talk a lot about this Craig Bradford, who is not a really
nobody really feared them. You know, when you look back, and maybe we were spoiled with this, with the Sir Garden and Desi Haynes and Sir Viv coming at 3 and so forth. right? And Larry Gomes steadying it down there, and then Clive Lyde and so forth, and the Dujans and so forth. But I'm saying to you that at the point when I said that Kaiwan should have played Test match cricket, nobody me really afraid of frontline batters. Nobody, and you know clearly that with a Chris Gale and Kyra and Pollard, bowlers, they're a little bit on the offensive because they know that these guys can destroy them.
On defense.
Yeah. I believe that cricket needs some changes into it, and we need to look at it from a football standpoint where you are international player, you are our international player. I mean, just for example, Antigua playing football, you have international players where you bring into the team, that are brought into the team to strengthen your team. I think that cricket need to be looking on that side a little bit. If you look at Evan Lewis, you can't tell me that Evan Lewis can't play Test match. I don't care how much 5 slips and 3 slips you have. If Evan Lewis go out there and bat for me in the opening position, and we get 60 for the first wicket and he makes 40 or 50, I'm quite satisfied, because you can't tell me that
he plays
in a
with
Test
a lot of
match.
Confidence too.
Yes, you can't tell me that you can't tell me Test match. You can't tell me Test match that 60 and 70 is not a good start. It's a good start. Good start for Test matches. I personally believe that he's one of those persons from an international standpoint. Don't tell me that he don't play enough 4-day cricket, he don't play. Listen, he plays a lot of cricket. That's right. That's the thing. The word is the game. Pooran, I like him, very good guy. Maybe he should be our wicket-keeper batsman in all forms of the game, unless he's injured or something like that. I think Hetmeyer has some good talent. Just need to play a little more from the shoulder to the top of the brain, and
above the shoulder.
Above the shoulder to the top of the head. And maybe yes, he can be a part of it.
But you see, tell me something. Don't you think that sometimes Hetmeyer is one of those players who think he can destroy everything, and if he gets or someone lets him know, or he's trained to respect a good ball?
Well, I have no doubt. I have no doubt in my mind that maybe
he should be.
I have no doubt in my mind that they have people doing that. But how well he's soaking it up, maybe he's not fast enough.
Okay.
And I'll say that because if we think back clearly, maybe Hetmeyer should have been the West Indies captain by now, from his exploit as the under 19 captain. But again, sometimes people just do not mature the same way, and so maybe what may very well happen, he's still a young guy. Maybe in the next 2-3 years, Hetmeyer may be the best thing in the world, but somebody just have to continue to work with him and explain to him, listen, this is the situation. Obviously his eyesight is very good, but at the end of the day, no matter how good the eyesight is, you got to respect some of the bowlers, especially on the international scene. You can't hit all the ball for 4. So,
that's right.
As I say, I can't delve too deep in it, because at the end of the day, the selectors have the job to do, and they are our selectors, and we really can't criticize them. But from the names that you call, I think that they're in line to do wonders.
And I can agree with you, Kuma. The point you made about international players. I mean, there's still that rule in that these guys have to come back and play 4-day cricket to be selected, or that has changed?
I think if my memory serves me right, there's still some level of understanding that you have to play certain format in order to be selected into another format, But as I say,
even though these guys are out the international,
but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Those are some of the things that we probably need to look into to get changed, because an international player is an international player.
That's right.
And he's playing international cricket
against international
players. The best players in the world.
That's right.
So, notwithstanding that, okay, maybe he may not be what you are saying the best 4-day player, but I'm not one of those coaches, to be honest with you, telling people that you're good at this format. You're going to find 1 or 2 persons that hey, listen, boy, if you give him the opportunity, in 10 balls, he's going to destroy everybody. He's going to destroy you for 40 ones. He may not be good after that. But again, I remember clearly one time when David Warner was beating balls in 20 overs, there was Australia commentator say, he will never play Test cricket. And so seriously, Mervyn, I sat down and say, that commentator is crazy. This man had enough talent and enough class to play Test match cricket, and he ended up being one of the best Test batsmen in the world, right? But it's about opportunity, and you're supposed to be able to identify it. You're going to get one or two wrong, but if you really look at players, you must be able to, and will be able to identify the talent that can go to the next level, especially playing international cricket or international sports. You know, so I can see that poor.
I mean, and there are quite a few players that I know that have performed pretty well. This guy Dowich too.
Yeah, well, he has struggled a little bit. I think the last tour to England, so I think he's going through some rehabilitation in terms of his game and so forth. And he was looking pretty classy, but you know when you have a tendency that you know to play the short one too competent, you know, people come at you.
Yeah, but I think I believe that he's one of those guys who, you know, he plays with a heart too, you know.
I'll draw your attention to a player who fortunately or unfortunately for some reason you can't understand why he can't maintain a play at the highest level. A guy by the name of Devon Booby Thomas. When you see Devon Booby Thomas walk to the wicket, just the way in which he walks, just the way in which he walks to the wicket, you see Devon receive the first ball. You say, well, listen, this man gonna murder somebody today.
Yeah.
You know,
and then
he cut from that. He cut from that kind of classy class that remind me the days of Sir Viv and Vernon Edwards and this guy Bratwit. You know, and some way inside there, Mervyn at times, but Mervyn was more showman that imitate everybody and so forth. But on a serious note, he cut from that kind of cloth, you know, the Gene Goulds and so forth that you see that hard.
You think he's finding himself now?
Well, let us hope that
No, the last couple of innings I've seen him play,
us hope that he would have found himself if he was lost. He's just probably now maturing, right. And as I say, people can mature a little late. As a batsman, I mean, if you look around and you see the good batters and those who go on to be great batters, they kind of sort themselves out like maybe the age 31, 32. Because a batsman, he can go on and play maybe for the next 7 years. You know, if he gets that opportunity and play well, and unlike a fast bowler that, you know, choose that hard job that you have to run in and keep pounding the back
and he's doing pretty well behind the stumps.
Well, in the first place, I don't even know why he ever had the thought of stop wicket keeping.
No, that's because he was Devon Thomas, you know, who had reached to a particular level at a very young age, and so playing in school league, he would start keeping, and when things are not going pretty well, he take the pads off and then want to go bowl, and somehow
he felt that that can be done at the next level.
Yeah.
Well, you know, as I say, we all were young and we made some reasonable silly
But I remember when they had the inauguration cricket match at
Seville.
No, Sticky Wicket.
Sticky Wicket, yeah.
Sticky Wicket. When they had
he caught out Lawrence Rowe.
That's right. And I was sitting next to Lawrence Rowe when Lawrence was asking when he started batting, wait, who that little boy there? You know?
Yeah.
That little boy is serious, man, you know? Man. And I was telling him, look, and you know he keeps well, you know. So he says, yeah, man, he's supposed to make the team, man, you know. But then if Lawrence Rowe, if I were to talk to Lawrence Rowe, he probably asked me what we come with.
You know, it's about transition, you know, transition, and sometimes, as I say, it takes time and it takes meditation and some seriousness. Sometimes, as I say, some of us don't take it as serious. I you know, when I was playing, I think I was a reasonable player again, but I don't think I took it as serious as some of my colleagues, because at the same time, I was playing steel band very reasonable, so I was traveling with the Harmonites, and you know, as a young man going to Super Bowl, playing the Super Bowl halftime show, and then traveling up to New York, traveling here and there with a band, you feel like, you know, you know, at that age, you know, and doing other things, you know, as we would have done as sportsman, as
that big man do, yeah, that big man do, yes.
You know, yeah, you make you feel, well, boy, you know, the world easy, you know what I mean? So you had choices, you know, and when I look back,
but who was around Booby, you know, Devon? Who was around him?
Well, he had
looked up to, and
I'm not sure. I know that John Archibald was his mainstay at one time.
Yeah, but John had gone, I think,
to St. Martin. Yeah, John was out for a while. I'm not too sure who was the persons. I know that when I coached Antigua for a while, I was, you know, one of the person that dealt with him in a reasonable fashion. But you know, sometimes given my style, sometimes some young people may not too like that because I listen. I like a lot of fun, Mervyn. But you see, when I pull on the Antigua jersey, it's about Antigua. And
he's not playing anymore. He's work now.
It's work now. You know, it's serious business.
Even though he's playing a game.
And as much as myself and Mervyn, very good. You know, if I have to ask Mervyn to leave the practice this afternoon, I'm going to do that. You may feel that, boy, you shouldn't do that and so forth. But at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about Antigua. You know, and it's Antigua first, and you come second. You know, so.
I don't know. I felt that when he got selected first, when he got selected first, I remember it was a one-day.
I think that was versus Bangladesh, if my memory serves me right.
I think it was Bangladesh.
I think it was Bangladesh.
And there were more runs. It was a game that we couldn't win. Right? But he probably came into the wicket, and he said he could probably hit a 10 or 8, you know, not knowing that the maximum was 6, right? And I said to myself, why just play like you normally play, right? Even if you bat not out, at least they get a chance to see you. Rather, but they judged him when he played some ridiculous shot and got out,
but you see, that's because sometimes people of special ability sometimes think that they can take on the world, and you can't be upset with them for that because
that's true.
That's what the mind is seeing, and he probably felt that. Listen, I was playing in Antigua tournament last week and I made 200. You know, not giving the respect and understand that at this level, at this level, where in Antigua you only get 5 or 4 bad balls. At this level, you only getting 2 bad balls if you're lucky.
Or maybe you have to take a good ball and try and get some runs.
You know. So at the same time, maybe a little overconfidence at the time, but let us hope that he's settling down nicely now. Because
how old is he now?
I think if my memory serves me right, he cannot be more than 31.
Okay.
I don't
I don't
think he can be more than 31. Even 31. You know, it's a good time for a batter. Very good time for a batter. I mean, if he gets
around a very long time.
If he gets into the West Indies setup now and uses brain, you know, and bat with the level of ability that he has, you can see at least 6 to 7 years of solid contribution to West Indies cricket. And with what's happening around the world now, if he gets there and perform well, especially playing in the CPL, who knows, he may land himself a reasonable IPL contract.
That's right.
You know, a big back contract, even a few matches in England in the whatever league they have over there. I mean,
no, you're talking about the leagues. You know, England has come with this 100. This 100 now, right? I kind of like the setup.
Well,
you know?
The reality is for me,
but no. Let me get to you now, right? Because I know you came with a 10-10 long before even T20 came in.
Long garling time.
Right? Before T20 came in.
As they say, long garling time.
We used to go to the recreation grounds.
Oh man!
Right after work, and had a nice 10.
But you played in it. You played in it too.
I played in
it.
I played a little.
Yes. I'll tell you.
Wait, most time they didn't trouble the scorers.
Yeah, they trouble the scorers. Yeah, you know, to be honest with you.
How did that idea come about?
Anything, the T20?
Yeah. No, T10, man. Right?
I'll tell you how it come about. And this is no joke. I spoke about it on a couple of occasions. This is real. And it was a dream. Serious dream. So I was in England, 19...
If you had patented it, you know,
yeah.
They played in Hong Kong,
I think it's 96 or 97. I was in England. I think that series Yeah, I don't remember a year, but I think it was either 96. I believe it was more, no, I think it would have to be more 94 because I tried 3 years before they could have understood what I'm saying. So I believe it was 94 I was in England. West Indies were over there. So if West Indies were over there is 94, it was 94. If they were there in 95, it would be 95. But I won't believe it was 94. And I was in Cornwall, England, with my good buddy Eldine. And
84. West Indies was there 84.
84. Okay, it's either 84, somewhere down there. I can't remember off the top of my head.
It might have been 84.
So I was down there with Eldine in Cornwall, and playing some cricket and so forth. I had the opportunity to play a little league here and little league there. I think Eldine was sponsored at the time by a car company. I can't remember the name of the car company. And what had happened, they had a business league tournament that goes on, and Eldine would have been the pro for that car company. He had an injury, and those guys, saw me and so forth and said, well, listen, hey, let your body play for us, So we went and played this 20 over match. 20 over match started at 6 o'clock in the evening. I know sun now go down to 9 o'clock,
Yes.
So, boy, I played a few of those matches, and I started saying, boy, this would have been real nice for Antigua, What I'm telling you, Mervyn, is serious thing. So on my way back from England now, when I got on the flight, which was BA at the time, this flight attendant was a man who said to me, but why are you going back to the Caribbean, mate, and West Indies on tour, I said, well, unfortunately, I had to go home and work and so forth.
Yeah, you had to go and work.
Boy, I tell you the truth, boy, Mervyn, boy, that guy took care of me so good. All I was drinking is Hennessy and wine.
He's right up your street.
Hennessy and wine, man. Drinking Hennessy and wine. So
Yeah.
I fell asleep. Serious as I sit here. I talk about it all the while. And this dream had this person in the dream that keeps saying, cut it in half, cut it in half, cut it in half. And I'm just dreaming, say, cut it in half. And like in the dream, he say, cut what in half? And the person in the dream say, cut the 20 over in half, man. Cut the 20 over in half. And as I sit here, that's how the 10 over the side came about. So I came back to Antigua, put all the documentation nice and so thought, well, boy, this is such a good idea. 10 over the side, quarter past 4, the latest Tiger start at 4:30, recreation
right.
going. So I got into the Cricket Association now. I think at the time was Clavis and Pedro and so forth. And
but Pedro, he played himself, he played. Yeah.
Them guys felt the boy, you kind of like a crazy and so forth, boy. And think about the third year I brought it up and so forth, and I remember myself, Pedro, and Clavis was standing together, and Clavis just get up and say, listen, man, you damn disgusting with that now. Put it together and make our trial. Just look at that.
Yeah.
And I went, I did up the rules and everything and so forth, and the clubs were in and it and so forth, and by 4:15, 4:31, paint up the side screen. As a matter of fact, the person who did the first advertisement was Kenny Nibs. I believe I still have the advertisement. As a matter of fact, they have a Rasta man because Kenny Nibs had a little slang in the advertisement. I will paint the side screen black, and that boy come around me. So every time this Rasta man pop out and see me here, who paint the side screen black?
Yeah.
And we started, and I think our first sponsors there was a water company. There was an agent in in Antigua from a Guadeloupe water company. Just can never remember the name, but they were located over there on North Street. What happened, they had a guy who used to work for Bryson's, and he took over the agency, and I remember, people winning a case of water, man of the match and so forth. One of my greatest excitement with the 10 over the side after we got going and so forth, because we had commentary every afternoon on the radio and so forth. Big thing in Mervyn.
Yeah.
Boy, people like peace and recreation grounds. So I remember one day, my first wife, grandfather died, and so we had to go to this funeral in All Saints. When I came back from All Saints, we had a big game playing at recreation grounds. Well, when I came down now to look at parking space. When I came down, I came from the police, from the fire station side. Coming down, I can't get in the parking. Turn across by the jail road, they can't get in the parking. I end up park all the way up by Christ the King High School. So all the time, I'm trying to figure out what all them can we do. You know, to be honest with you, I am not thinking recreation grounds. I thought, you know, maybe something. I just wasn't thinking recreation grounds. When I came down to recreation grounds in Mervyn, I said, wow. When you hear people, no, real people. But guess who were the two teams? A team by the name of Supermasters, which I believe you were part of, you and Hugo and so forth. And the next team, and the next team was the Antigua, very strong Antigua under 15 team. But the build up to that was the captain of the Supermasters was a guy by the name of Sir Vivian Isaac Alexander Richards.
That's right.
And the captain of the under 15 team was a gentleman by the name of Marley Richards. Right? And that time, that under 15 team had Marley, Austin Richards, Larry Joseph. Listen, some real solid youngsters.
They were good, yeah.
You understand?
Good cricketers.
So when I got in there, I said, wow, man, people, when you hear people, you know, the commentary was running. I remember that sometime, man, you know, ABS gave us the right to carry the commentary. Sometime, boy, it was me and Seth Burton alone carrying the commentaries. Sometimes Seth will start until when I come, and then sometimes it's me and Austin Richards, and Van Ry Burns. You know, we just carrying the commentaries, and the games got better and better and better. And
how many seasons did it go?
I can't remember. I remember what kind of destroyed it. We had to move from recreation grounds, and we took it down to King George, which was, man, listen, when we got down to King George one afternoon, we were trying to figure out what all them people do down with King George. And then we had it over Rising Sun, because I think there was some upgrade of recreation grounds.
Right.
And then, to be honest with you, I have to put it this way. I think short-sightedness in the persons who could not have understood what I was saying. And I think only now they see like the 10 overs aside in the UAE and EAU and so forth, and Hong Kong and so forth. They're saying, but wait, maybe a side before my time. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean, I'm sure that somebody saw something before I did.
You would have been a rich man today if you were.
Boy, boy, that would have been nice, you know. But boy, sometime money and everything, boy, Mervyn, boy, it make you comfortable now. But at the end of the day, when you look back now and recognize that the people who were supposed to be understanding what you're saying and see the result now, you realize that as you continue to develop and still do things, that people head still so hard and not understanding what you would have done already and how proven you have been, you know. And so you're still saying things to people. Listen, what about try this or what about try that? And people are still saying, listen, at one point in time, I had held at the Cricket Association, and Earl Waldron always said to me, boy, you have faith. Sometimes I come up with some ideas, Mervyn, and before people even say, let us give it a try, they tell you it can't work. They tell you it can't work. Most of the things that you see I'm doing at Antigua Barbuda Cricket Association in terms of innovation and so forth is what I've said to Antigua Cricket Association a long time ago. I have not really ever been doing anything.
But now you're at the hem, you're putting them into...
You try them, and people see that they can work, you know, so that is good. But again, as I say, we just probably need to listen a little more, and the authorities need to understand that I'm a technician in sports and culture, but if you continue to sideline me and don't believe, well, listen, he's just a chat, he just love for chat. Because the thing is about me, I don't care who in power, whether you be red, but you know that, Mervyn, you have been around as a coordinator and so forth, and I've had run-ins. I can tell you, I have run in with Minister of Culture, my good friend Sir Rodney Williams, my good friend. When he meet me, says, namesake, what's up? Am I still the worst Minister of Culture in Antigua? And I'll say to him, no, you have one guy from Dongle Liberta. They call Nambulumbu. Your heat tight. I have one in with Guy. I remember when I started around cricket, I think, well, the cultural side of it, I believe it would have been Mr. Percival. We have had one in with Mr. Percival. I have had one in with the Celesta who just passed away. I have had one in with my good friend E.P. Chet Green. Yeah. Chet is a good friend of mine. We have mutual respect for each other. I've had one in with him, but at the end of the day, it's not about him or me, it's about what we are trying to achieve for the sports and the culture of Antigua and Barbuda. I'm a very strong-headed person. Sometimes I may have done some things, and
that we know.
I may have done some things, and you know, a little later you look back and say, boy, that not me too right. Hey, don't be afraid to put up your hand and say, hey, listen, man, I apologize about that. I got that one wrong.
And that takes some money, yeah.
But I guarantee, majority of the times, given the meditation and the way in which I function, I'm a man that functions from 3 o'clock and 2:30 and so in the morning. So I kind of get some clarity, some clarity in my mind. In my mind, when I see a vision and understand the vision, and then try to think it through, to look for the part that you may fall off the rock. And in falling off the rock and you can't recover quick enough, then you know, then that's a dead issue. You know? So I try to use that, but at the end of the day too, as I say, I can be very firm in my mind, because a lot of people don't understand when you get up 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning and function that time, you see much clearer, a lot of clarity in what it is that you want to develop for whatever you are into. And hence, you not getting up 7 o'clock in the morning when the sun already shining. You can't dictate to me what I would have seen, because the Almighty would have already given me that clarity in my mind, you know, my mindset, and you know, you got to respect that the Lord works in a different kind of way in that time of the morning than when the sun starts shining on you.
The CPL. You know, there are quite a few pundits who are saying Jimbo, Alzari, they're not being used as they should, right? And I believe that one of the person that I heard, it was just actually this morning, who was talking about it, about Duplessis. He's getting to know his players, and he's getting to play his now. I would think that they have practice. I think they would have had practice, and he would have seen these guys, and it's still early in the tournament, so he might have have plans for them.
You know, sometime
I think he was a little harsh.
Sometime you want to put some conversation in the garbage bin, but at the same time, conversation is good and the discussions are good.
Right.
But when I look at what I would have heard, if you think about it, let us agree that Jimbo is a talented off spinner. It's one of those off spinners that get turn and bounce. But I just want to cast in mind back, as I said to somebody this morning. If you look at, I don't know what the plans for him in that setup. No, not only the bowling department, in the whole setup. Okay. In the whole setup, what is his role? They may have a specific role for him, notwithstanding that he's a known off spinner. And you know, when you're going to tell me about Duplessis, don't know the players. Who don't know Alzari Joseph?
Exactly.
You know, he's an international player. Raheem Cornwall, who don't know Raheem Cornwall? You tell me that South Africa has not been studying Raheem Cornwall. From the time Raheem come and the senior start picking up a lot of wickets, he would be studied.
That's right.
Yeah. So I'm saying to you, if you look back, I think he's now playing for the St. Lucia team, and I said the St. Lucia team because they changed the name from the Zokes to the Lions or whatever it is, and I think he's playing for them for about 3 seasons now. If you look at his 3 seasons, I don't even believe that he would have bowled 10 overs for them if he has bowled that much during the CPL season. So to say that, you know,
and I think he started coming in at about 6 or 7.
Right, and then
now
he's just in the opening slot
that's
for
right.
the last 2 seasons,
Right,
and he has done well. So I'm saying, you have to understand the plans. Whatever his role, he may be a very good bowler, but his role in this team may not be to kill him with bowling. Just for example, when Jimbo is bowling for Leewards, right? Clearly, if Leewards bowl 100 over, Jimbo bowl 55 or 60.
That's true.
When he bowls to West Indies bowl 80 over, Jimbo already bowl 40, right? But in this T20 setup, the owner, the management team, coaches probably see a different role for him. I'm not in the position to say that he should bowl more or he should not bowl more. I would have to understand what it is they're trying to achieve,
Right.
why he's not bowling.
Well, but how did they do with the last couple of games that they played? Did
They have been pretty okay. I think
they lost one.
I think the last one and win one, something like that. I've not been following too much, I watch when I can, but I'm not overly excited about the CPL. I know that a lot of people killing me say, why you don't advocate for us to get back a team here in Antigua and so forth. I made no bones about it and no secret about it. I'm saying to you, and I'll say it over and over 59 million times, and I really don't care who upset. I'll be happy if we have a franchise here, but the kind of business that the way in which CPL is set up from a business standpoint, do not ask my government to give you $4 million US or $3 million US. I would agree that you must use the facility, the Sir Viv Richards Cricket Stadium, without paying any money to use it, because you're the home team, you're a franchise team, and that I believe the government should be their part, their part of the input. You should be the one to go out and seek your investment. Whoever investors you're going to get, whatever TV rights that are going to come back to you and things like that, Antigua would get the advertisement of it, with the pictures going all around the world.
Let me tell
when
you,
you listen to CPL, if you watch the CPL and you go online, you hear it in so many language. You hear so many Indian media who is carrying it, Pakistan, so forth. So it's out there, right? However they're going to make the money, they should. But don't ask my government to give 3 million to input 3 million or 2 million, $4 million. I will never ever support that.
Isn't that just to have the franchise?
Well, listen, I don't care what it is.
Yeah, no.
I'm saying to you.
In the long run, I mean, COVID now would probably spoil things, because you would not have had additional income with spectators.
Right.
But the economic benefit from it.
Listen, I hear what you're saying.
It's quite a lot.
Yeah, I'm saying.
I mean, when you.
Yeah, but listen to what I'm saying to you, Marvin. Sometimes you have to be able to evaluate this so-called economical benefit and the value. You're using the stadium, I'll give you the stadium. Listen, just do everything about the stadium, whatever it is. Go on staff, everybody. You got to prepare for this team. Whatever it is. That is our input. You're looking investment, you go and seek investment, because listen, I know that people saying, okay, you may not be having the sort of income because you do not have gate receipts. But if you look at some of the sports that are happening around the world, they will tell you that notwithstanding bombs are not coming in the seat, they're making more money from bombs not coming in this coming in to the stadium than bombs coming into the stadium, because majority of those persons who would have been sitting in those stadiums are now paying to watch it. You do not have the sort of security cost that you have to run the games in the stadium. You do not have a whole lot of stuff that you will have to have with those bombs coming into the stadium. You do not have that cost. Right? So notwithstanding that you would have had people paying coming into the stadium, there's the other side of it, where a lot of those persons are watching those games via the sky and with a cost. So somewhere along the line, I'm simply saying to you, I am not a fan of CPL, because well, for a franchise in Antigua, I support the St. Kitts Patriots, and I support the St. Lucia team also because they have.
They have Antiguans in it.
Yes,
Antiguans in
yes.
it.
I'm sort of disappointed that with the St. Kitts based team that we do not have more Leeward Islands players in the team. But you know, the reality
No,
is
it's
that's how
business.
franchise.
That's it.
That's how franchise cricket goes, and it's a business, a very serious business. And somewhere along the line, people want to see some profit line. If there's really no profit line, you want to know that you'll be able to pay the players and pay the bills. You know, so that's what it is. You know, so CPL, yes, it's something that can help and will help our players given the opportunity. But as I say, as from a franchise standpoint in Antigua, the government will never get my support.
Which franchise do you like? Because you don't like the CPL. What about the IPL?
No, I don't have
What
anything
is-
against CPL.
Oh,
I just
okay.
don't like that people want to encourage me, that I should be encouraging the government from where I sit to get back a franchise here. Because I don't believe that no franchise should be asking my government for 3 million or 4 million US dollars. That is my feeling. So I would not support that. I will continue to support that the stadium and so forth and the people who are around that, you know, will give their assistance in ground staff and operations and so forth. Yes.
So you think where it is now, being played in St. Kitts, where you think the benefits there for people in St. Kitts? Don't you think they're going to get back that 4 million?
Where?
All the teams are playing in St. Kitts.
What I will
You're
say-
talking about hotel.
So what I will say to you,
Yeah.
with the tournament is played in St. Kitts, there's circulation and funds. And yes, because you have
Okay.
6 teams down there with all the television people. So I'm
right.
sure you have nearly 400 people utilizing hotel rooms.
Right.
Well,
Taking
just
taxis, bus,
direct transportation because you
Right.
know right now this bubble situation is tight, so it's
Tight,
not to say
right.
that you can use it get
Any
in a
ta-
taxi and
taxi,
just
yeah.
one go here, one go there. But there's circulation of funds, and yes, there's some advertisement. But if you listen to Trinidad and Barbados clearly, they tell you, listen, the returns from the CPL thing, you know, really doesn't help us.
So you think somebody there is making money? I mean, when you say that,
Some
It was a-
money has to be made.
It was an Irish company, innit?
Yeah, I think it's Outer Island. Yeah,
It-
I think it originated Outer
And I
Island.
think that's something to do
I
with
don't.
digital.
The thing is that these franchises are so getting so worldwide now that you find maybe a basketball team in
Where
New York
do
has a
you
part
think
of
the
it, a
salary and
football
so?
team.
Where do you think the salary in the CPL?
You know, at one point in time I had it, but I can't tell you off the top of my head what
Yeah.
are the base salaries. I think maybe the cheapest player you may have maybe is about 7,000 US or something like that. So for
7,000?
that, yeah, 7,000 US for the tournament. That may be the
The whole tournament?
yeah, that may be the cheapest player.
Or someone who's not playing, they're just sitting on the bench
Well,
or something?
when I say not really sitting on the bench, they may get in a game, but you know they're coming from the lower tier. So let me not say let me say the lowest tier you may
Of
find
salary,
a salary, you may find a 7,000 player,
That's
right? It may not be big money, but again, you know
That's not
young player for exposure purposes. You know, you grab it,
For bigger things?
especially if you're living in Jamaica or Guyana. Come on, $7,000 Mervyn. You know,
Yeah.
You know,
But-
you walk away shoulder high.
But what I noticed is that St. Kitts, the Patriots, they have gotten some winners
Oh yes, well,
on the team.
let's put it this way. I mean, they started well.
That's not 10,000 US, not 20,000 US. Is going for them kind of.
Well, I can't tell you what the salaries are, but I'm saying
I would
it's
think,
a good
you know.
it's a good thing for the Patriots. They started well. I think they're now 2 from 2.
Yeah,
You know, and so obviously Captain DJ Bravo probably brought some miracle to the team,
Right.
And that's good for the franchise.
And Lewis has always been there. Who
Lewis
else?
has been there.
Then you-
They have been Cottrell has been there.
Yeah.
Gail was there, and he went back to Jamaica. He came back. But the guy named from Trinidad there, the fast bowler, he has been there for a while. A couple of them guys have been around. Booby has been there for a while. So they have some players that have been there quite a bit, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's see what happens as the tournament continues, because that pitch is only going to get better and better, and I think we're going to see some real good bats firing down there.
Someone calling on a radio program about they didn't realize that it was a 10-10 situation because I mean.
Oh yeah, because of the more the dot balls.
The more the dot balls was 60-something dot balls.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of sixes that been hit.
Oh yes, a lot. But you remember the grounds are pretty small.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I believe it's the best 2020 cricket ground in the world. Yes, because of the size.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I think Warner Park is the best.
Is Lewis? I think the last game that they played, Patriot played against somebody. I swear to God that this guy was out.
Yeah, and the ball.
Because the way I see when he hit the ball, he looked up straight. You know what I mean?
No, it's.
And the ball went out.
I believe is the best 2020 ground in the world. Mark, listen, let's understand that 2020 cricket and so forth is a batsman game, and bowler are going to get punished. Sometimes they're going to bowl some good balls, and it's going to go far, especially in a going and sink it. So for me, I think, well, when I used to play cricket, I'm on all one. I really don't like people hit my ball too far, Mervyn. But now I'm not playing. From the excitement standpoint and the entertainment standpoint, I'll tell you that I think that Warner Park is the best T20 ground anywhere in the world.
Yeah?
Yeah, the world. Yeah.
But tell me something. This is just a question off the cuff as to the type of players that do you think you should be playing? I mean, a T20 player. Can he play tests, or he comes down? A test player can adapt to the shorter version of the game.
If you equip yourself well at the longer version of the game, I have no doubt in my mind that you will have a better understanding of the shorter version of the game.
Right.
I don't think that a player who is just playing T20 cricket just go and wash.
Yeah, sometimes he's going to succeed.
Yeah, he will. If you take him into a test match situation, he may not succeed. But you can see clearly that there are some players who are playing the shorter version of the game that has that ability, if given the opportunity, at the longer version, can play. And I think, personally, Evan Lewis is one of those players.
I think so too.
But I think from a holistic standpoint, and if you go back and look clearly, you will see Jack Callis. People thought he would not be able to play 2020 cricket, but he ended up being one of the better 2020 players because he was such a classical test player.
Joe Root.
So when you look at it, I think that you have no alternative but to agree that the longer version of the game will better assist you of developing your shorter version skills.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right. I mean, the scoop, knowing.
I mean, I'm not one of those persons who are overly fascinated by the switch hit and the scoops and so forth. I'll tell you why.
You know something? I think I have to credit myself and Greg Chappell for the back there,
Yeah. But I'll tell you,
I made 100 against Montserrat here in Antigua. When I was 96, I left arm spinner's bowling.
I turn around and hit him.
And that's all.
I'm saying that for me, that switch hit, I believe it's unfair, and I'll tell you why. When you, as a bowler, get to the crease and you take the ball, you have to tell the umpire where you're bowling from. Ump's right arm over, ump's right arm around. You running him right arm over to bowl to a right-handed batsman. And when you deliver the ball, he never told the umpire that he's going to turn over left-handed and hit your ball. That can't be fair.
Did you remember when?
What I will agree with that, okay, it appears to be some skills, and it look exciting and so forth. But I'm saying to you.
But I thought you said a while ago it's a batsman. It's a batsman.
Yes. But what I'm saying to you, when it comes to that, when it comes to that, I should not tell the bowler that I'm the umpire I'm bowling right arm over or whatsoever. I just run in a ball. So if when I get up to the stump I feel to transfer the ball to my left hand, right? I just transfer the ball to my left hand and bowl the ball.
If you can do that, yeah.
If you can do that.
Right.
Because if I have to tell the umpire, right arm over, right arm around. And if I run in around the wicket when I told him right arm over and I run around the wicket, he's going to call no ball. But then here am I running in, Mervyn setting up right hand into bat. I run in right arm over. Next thing when I look, Mervyn turn left hand and hitting my ball over what would have been gully.
The umpire can
Right?
call it.
That now become backward square.
Yeah.
Right? Remember now I went in bowling with my 3 slips on gully now. Right? And my backward square over there. When I run in now you turn left hand and I hit my ball over gully for 6. Which now become backward square as a left-hander. I don't think that's fair.
Yeah. Ungentlemanly conduct. Let's just say, because I remember Russell. Russell tried that with bowling one time, you know. I don't know if you remember. He was running in. He was running into bowl. And then halfway through his mark, he stopped like if he changed his mind. And the batsman then relaxed and then he continued running in. Right? And the batsman was surprised to see that the ball still come, you know. It's just that he didn't go on to stop itself. But the umpire, cautioned Russell for that. And I'm saying, no. Anything a bowler can if the batsman is allowed to do those kind of things in the game, why shouldn't the bowler try something?
Exactly.
Right? I see a bowler, it was a right-hand bowler.
Oh, yeah, the turn on the ball left-handed.
No. He ran in, right? He's a spinner, and he turned to.
Oh yes, I think I saw that.
Still ball, and the umpire said there was no ball.
Exactly,
I mean, he delivered the ball with his right hand.
Yeah, but I think he turned the other way or something.
He turned like a left-hander, and then
I think I saw that. I think I saw that video.
And I mean, So I think the bowlers should be given some sort of leverage to try something, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I mean, I must give some credit to Russell, because Russell again, when he runs off, he delivers away from behind the umpire.
Yeah.
When they think when he should come into the crease, when they think he's coming into the stump, he delivers from behind here. I mean,
from behind the crease.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you did that in your time too. Yeah, man. We all did that. We all did all of that. I mean, I hear the talking about ball tampering and so forth. I'm not going to get too deep in that. But Mervyn, you used to rise the seam with your fingernails.
No. I never had fingernails. As a matter of fact, I still don't have any fingernails.
So you don't be one the cola cock, man.
No.
Look, cola cock.
As a matter of fact, I never mind anybody chucking.
Well?
No, I don't mind chucking. It's just like extra pace.
No,
right?
No.
Extra pace.
No. We can't deal with the chucking business. That's illegal.
No. Even for spinner. Even for spinner.
It's illegal. Listen, you got to bowl the ball. I am not going to agree.
So what about Newey?
His situation was a little different, and when I've watched the tapes over and over, and I don't think that he ran out anybody. I think it was a situation. As a matter of fact, when the douche show came in first, people wasn't understanding that. People thought that his hand was coming here, but you can't bowl the douche show from here. You have to open it from here, right? And when they put him through the paces, his wrist, I think he's double jointed or something like that. So unfortunately for you as the batsman, where you may want to bowl the douche or come up here and do that, you have to do that.
What about Atenes?
Atenes, he has a suspect action when he bowls the faster one. I'm not going to lie about it. I mean, he played for Empire during my time. He played for Antigua during my time. He played for Leeward during my time. He was called.
He's been called already?
Yeah. He was reported. Let me put it that way. He was reported. What we have to understand, players who have suspect actions, they will do well not under pressure, but when the pressure start pile up and they feel, well, they just have to get back to this thing, then you find that they want especially the faster one. Remember Marlon was called also. Even the test captain for West Indies, he has been called also.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes, he was called. And Well, we know that Narayan has been called on many occasions.
Yeah, but now he comes with it.
Yeah, he comes
try to
with-
come
yeah,
straight from like yeah.
But for normal persons to bowl the dusha, it will appear as if they're showing it, because you have to come here and you can't have to come in here, and the ball comes out this way.
So
It's
the
not much.
the
It's not,
elbow bend a little to
yeah,
release
it's not
it.
much person that can come here and just get the hand and let it out like that. They have to come here and then do that. So obviously that appears because this is the elbow and the hand look like you're throwing it.
You're throwing it, yeah.
Now apparently with Merle's elbow, he had that ability where he come here and the hand comes and the ball came out here.
Yeah.
So even though once the palm open like that, it will look like if he's running out the batsman and not really bowling, not bowling them out.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a tough situation, but guess what?
I gotta ask you one more question before we leave, because time
If
seems
so
to be
many
moving on.
umpires didn't call him then at the international level, who am I to say that he was
That's
running
right.
out people?
Yeah, 400 something run out.
You know, a lot of one out.
That's a lot of run out. A lot of run outs. But look, let me ask you one more question before we go, and that is the minor league. I noticed that some of our little players who have been around here are now playing in Florida. Florida are the minor leagues.
Yes, I think.
Your
I think.
association
Yeah,
has
I
anything
think.
to
I
do with
think.
that?
I think one of the little breakdown that we have, Mervyn. You know, before time it has been very strict that when players are leaving to go to play in any league away around the world, they have to give that details to the Cricket Association.
And each one must be sanctioned by the association.
Yeah, because, well, sometimes you're not going to say no because,
Right.
you know, you want the players opportunity. But those, well, majority of the time it would have been England, 'cause a lot of guys would have gone to England and they still want to be in contention for selection for the national team. And in order to be in contention for the national team, you would have been asked, you're going to England, you have to state your club, state where you are, and you have to send your stats. So the stats would have been provided to the selectors, and if they feel that, listen, you would have done well based on the league that you're playing in England, that you probably would have still been given an opportunity on your return to either play for Antigua or play in the trials or stuff like that. Some players go off, they get the opportunity, they're so excited, they really do not submit what they're supposed to submit, not even stats and so forth. And sometimes when you really find out, some of the leagues really are some real joke leagues and so forth. But at the end of the day, what we have to understand, sometimes you may get an opportunity to go play in a league that you may consider to be a joke league, but people are always scouting, and no matter where they are, they're scouting. You may be playing in a league that you think that is a joke league, but two scouts are looking, they see Mervyn seem to be exceptional. When you catch yourself, you get, you know, you get in a second team and you work your way up to a first team like that. And when you catch yourself, you're a professional cricketer. You know, so you can't write off any league that people get opportunity to play in. It's just that I think that we need to get back to a position where that you're leaving, you must be able to get a letter from the Cricket Association saying, listen, we know where you are. Please remember to send your stats and so forth, and keep it up to date. But again, as I say, things do happen, and you can only get better from your faults.
Yeah, I have a cousin who is up there in Florida, Nathaniel.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
my boy.
He's very serious about. He's
Very-
very serious about.
Very,
the game.
very, very serious. Not a bad player, no. Not a bad player.
No. Well, he was born. No, he was raised in Barbados.
Yeah, Barbados, man. He kill me all the time.
Yeah, he kill you all the time,
All the time, man. Kill me all the
Shite,
time, man. Man, Freddie harass me all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Oh, I tell you, man. Look, well, Kuma, look, it's been nice, you know, with the conversation that we've had. It has been great. I know you've been here before, and on Parish League, that is. And I know that, you know, I don't think that you got enough time as we got this afternoon.
Yeah, well, you know, to be honest with you, I want to thank you. I still don't think that we had enough time, but at the end of the day,
Well, we can always bring it back, you know.
I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity, you know. And, you know, once we have some time, obviously, we can come back and talk about so many other things. Because listen, cricket go way back. Listen, we had so much of good players over in this place, in Mervyn, that you know.
One last thing. In your association, are you compiling, you know, of who's who that have played for Antigua. Maybe you need to assign someone.
I will tell.
Just to start
I will
with
tell
a photo. With a photo.
I'll tell you this,
And maybe do a
not,
booklet and have it
not
sold.
because you brought it up. We have seek some assistance via the job program, and again, I think COVID is the one that
Okay.
jam us, because we had already gone to the job program to see if we can get somebody just specifically to sit down, and whatever documentation we have on the past, in this modern day and age, put it on the computer and try to do some compilation and so forth. It's challenging, but I believe once we get over this COVID thing a little more, and I say a little more because listen, I think we're gonna have to live with this like if it's just another flu.
That's right.
This thing is not going to go anywhere pretty soon, Mervyn, and we just have to continue to ask each and everyone to try and protect yourself as much as possible, because listen, what you going to shut down? You can't shut down the economy now. If you look around the world now, we see that a lot of them.
But I think a lot of people need to be more responsible too.
We can't get away from that. We must accept that. One thing we're going to have to also accept, which is a hard fact, some of us are going to die.
That's right.
Some of us are going to die from this thing called COVID. But do you prefer to die from COVID, or the 1 or 2 persons who may die from some underlying situation because they took the vaccine? Because if you look at what's going on right now, and I follow it on a regular basis, they're saying in New York, most persons that are dying right now are the unvaccinated
people.
So maybe the evidence
and that
is there,
percentage is
but
very, very high.
very, very high. But at the end of the day, it's all about you. It's what you want to do. It's what you choose. Nobody can tell you what to do. Nobody can tell you that you should or you should not. It's just
But on the other hand, you have got to respect employers
and the nation, the whole nation,
people, business people who are saying, look, they don't want anybody who are not vaccinated in their place. So you have to respect that. Just as how they have to respect you saying, I'm not taking the vaccine.
Exactly.
Yeah. But on that note,
thank you very much.
Once again, we want to thank you very much for coming here in the studio of Talking Sports, and on behalf of our executive producer, Taddy Arundel, along with our technician, Auden. No, I haven't forgotten you today, Auden. We want to thank you very much, along with our sponsors, ACB Caribbean, Simply Smarter Banking, Blue Mountain Water, Cecil Charles Group of Companies, Truist Pharmacy, Seco, and also Hutchison, and the Plumbing and Electrical, along with Brand Philesse. So until next week, Monday, join us again for another exciting episode of Talking Sport. It's bye for now.